Please be seated. Students, family members, friends, faculty and staff, welcome to the 2014 Carlson School of Management Graduate Commencement Ceremony. Woohoo! Before we begin, I wish to acknowledge some special individuals, many of whom have guided you through what I hope has been a life-changing, transformative, unforgettable experience. Please hold your applause and we will recognize all of these individuals together. I extend a special welcome to our distinguished colleagues from our two global executive MBA programs who have traveled around the world from our partner schools to be with us today. From our China Executive Program, I welcome Professor Lin Jiang. From the Vienna Executive MBA Program, I welcome Professor Bodo Schlegel-Milk, Dean of the WEU Executive Academy, Vienna University of Economics and Business in Vienna, Austria. In addition, I welcome the Honorable Regent Laura Broad, representing the University of Minnesota Board of Regents. Our keynote speaker, Tom Staggs, Chairman of Walt Disney Parks and Resorts. Associate Dean for Faculty and Research, George John. Representing the MBA programs, Associate Dean Arthur Hill and Assistant Dean Phil Miller. Representing the Carlson School Global Initiatives, Associate Dean Mike Houston and Assistant Dean Ann D'Angelo. Faculty, Directors of Graduate Studies, Sean Curley and Avner Benner. Directors of Graduate Studies, Paul Gutterman and Larry Callio. And HRIR Program Director, Stacy Deppner-Hove. Laura Moret, President of the Carlson Alumni Board. And last, but certainly not least, the distinguished faculty of the Carlson School of Management. Thank you for joining us this morning and for all of you and for everything that you have done over the years to assist those who are receiving their diplomas today. I would also like to recognize another group who was equally critical to the success of today's graduates, but is often overlooked, the family and friends of our students. Could you stand up for a second if you are able? The support network you have provided your loved one during their studies made their success and the degree they're receiving today possible. You deserve to share in this celebration. So thank you so much for everything you have done. Today truly is a day of celebration, one in which we present Carlson School graduates with degrees that recognize their tireless efforts, acknowledge their scholarly achievements, and symbolize the transformative effect a business education can have. Graduates, when you receive your diploma from the University of Minnesota's Carlson School of Management, you join a network that is more than 50,000 strong in 95 countries and includes the CEOs of 2 Fortune 25 firms and countless other leaders. This network is proof that there is very little Carlson School grads can't or aren't doing. In addition to heading our nation's top corporations, they are starting new enterprises, founding and running nonprofits, and showing that individuals and organizations can create a brighter future. I'm filled with pride every time I hear a story of what one of our alumni is doing to better business and society. I'm even more thrilled when they return to campus and share their experiences and talents with our current students. We truly all are part of a remarkable institution hewn by the vision and hard work of the many who preceded us, today I ask you to follow their lead, embrace your new role, and become one of the creators of our tomorrow. Your success is our success, and our brand defines your brand. So please stay connected and engaged with the school and our students throughout the rest of your career. In turn, know that we will always be here to assist you in your continued pursuit of knowledge and professional development. Graduates, on behalf of the University of Minnesota and the faculty and staff of the Carlson School of Management, please accept my sincere congratulations. We are incredibly proud of what you have already accomplished and look forward to all that you will achieve in the future. At this time, it gives me tremendous pleasure to introduce a member of this amazing alumni network that we have, who will deliver this year's commencement keynote address. Tom Staggs has had a lifetime of unforgettable experiences. As one of 3 sons of a salesman, he delivered penny saver newspapers door to door as a boy. At Minnetonka High School, he performed in 2 ensembles and 2 bands. He was first chair trumpet, section leader, and received varsity letters for all. Not surprisingly, he enrolled at the University of Minnesota as a music major, but transferred to business. The orchestra's loss was business's gain, I think. And there he learned a new way of thinking and problem solving from professors who were leaders in their fields, professors, faculty like we still have. But folks at that time, such as Walter Heller, the one-time chief economic advisor to President Kennedy. While earning his undergraduate degree at the university, he worked 3 jobs: selling men's clothes, teaching trumpet, and judging sailboat races on Lake Minnetonka. Tom landed an amazing internship with Dane Bosworth Interregional Financial Group that propelled him to a career on Wall Street as an investment banker with Morgan Stanley. After earning his MBA at Stanford, the Walt Disney Company recruited Tom as senior strategy manager. He quickly advanced through the firm and was named chief financial officer in 1998. In that position, he played a crucial role in numerous strategic and operating initiatives, including the acquisitions of Capital Cities ABC, Pixar Animation Studios, and Marvel Entertainment. He was also praised by the street for his financial and communication skills and was consistently voted the top entertainment industry CFO by Institutional Investor magazine. In 2010, Tom was named chairman of Walt Disney Parks and Resorts and has led it through its largest period of growth in its history, generating record revenue, profit, and attendance levels. He leads a global team of nearly 130,000 cast members, crew members, and Imagineers who all share a singular and fitting focus of creating unforgettable experiences that provide Disney guests with shared memories that will last a lifetime. It's not surprising that someone with so many unforgettable experiences would also be responsible for creating them for others. Tom is a loving husband and committed father to 3 sons for whom he still finds time to coach basketball. He's also committed to the community and serves on the Carlson Board of Overseers. I hope my words have given you a sense of who Tom is and provided you with a taste of his role as chairman of Walt Disney Parks and Resorts. But just in case you missed something, we found a kind of video which shows the great lengths Tom has taken to fully understand the operation of this amazing company that he leads.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Nice and juicy. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Disney's famous Jungle Cruise. My name's Tom. I'll be your guide today. Up ahead is beautiful Schweitzer Falls, one of our more liquid assets.
Can I have a balloon, please?
Absolutely, little buddy. Here, let me just pull one out of here for you. Here, have a magical day.
When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true.
Seriously, Jay did this?
Oh, yeah.
Jen, we're gonna need a bigger bucket.
Starboard 10.
Starboard 10.
I told you to knock that off.
Yeah, roger that, roger that. Soy latte?
Yeah, fine.
Here you go.
Seriously?
Oh, it stretches.
Hey, what does this do?
No, 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 no.
Graduates of the class of 2014, it's time for you to begin the ride of your life. Please make sure your seat belts are securely fastened and keep your hands and feet inside your seats at all times. But first, let's raise those hands and give a warm Golden Gopher welcome to the man who clearly wears many hats, our distinguished alumnus and Mickey Mouse's good pal, Tom Staggs.
That video pretty much sums up what's wrong with the internet, that you could go find that. Thank you, Regent Broad, Dean Zahir, and all the distinguished faculty, alumni, and guests. And of course, most of all, to you, the Carlson Graduate School graduates, class of 2014. You made it. Congratulations. You know, it's actually truly great to be here. And but truth be told, by the way, this is my first commencement at the University of Minnesota. Dean Zahir was right, I graduated and everything. It's just that I had to work the day that they had the ceremony, and so I missed the commencement. So this is my first one. So I hope somebody's taking pictures, because my mom has always wanted to see me in this robe. Actually, you know what? Let's just do it right now. Hold on. Perfect. Thank you. So I know all of you worked very hard for the degrees that you're about to receive. I'm also aware, by the way, that for some of you, the hardest work that you did was surviving this past winter here in Minnesota. As I watched the weather unfold from Los Angeles, I almost felt guilty. So for those of you who aren't from Minnesota, we're really sorry. By the way, you clearly didn't get a heads up about that in the online brochure for the Carlson School. I checked. There's nothing but sunny skies, grass, leaves, not a flake of snow on the whole thing. So if that doesn't give you confidence in this school's marketing department, nothing will. Anyway, even though you all hail from, I guess, 21 states from around the country, and from 16 different countries, you're all honorary Minnesotans at this point. Now, however difficult the work or the weather, I know you've got a strong appreciation for just how special this place is and how worthwhile and valuable your time here has been. It's why I'm so proud to be a University of Minnesota graduate and a Minnesotan. Now, based on Dean Zahir's generous and perhaps overly long introduction, you may have concluded that I have a pretty fun job, and I'm not going to argue with you about that. The fact is, I get to work with some amazing people, and I get to do some amazing things. A few weeks ago, I was in Florida, where we dedicated a new attraction, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Yes, I rode it several times. It's part of the job. I spent the better part of the next week over at Walt Disney Imagineering. We were working on a bunch of different things. Our new recreation of Pandora from the film Avatar that's going to Walt Disney World, the new theme park and resort we're building in Shanghai. We spent some time with the folks from the cruise line, going over their new itineraries and previewing a musical that's be going on the ships in 2015. Tomorrow night I'm off to France to spend time there and ride an attraction that we're putting in there for this summer. But as fun as all of that is, what makes being at Disney so great for me isn't so much what we do, it's why we do it. The Walt Disney Company is built on an amazing legacy. Think about it. In addition to Mickey Mouse and all of his friends, Walt Disney created the first full-length feature animated film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. There obviously wasn't a Best Animated Film category at the Academy Awards that year, but Walt won an Oscar for Snow White nonetheless. And that was just one of a record-setting 26 Oscars that Walt won throughout his career. Of course, he also created Disneyland, even though almost everyone told him he was crazy to do it. But he built it, and in the process, he invented the theme park and actually launched an entire industry. The list of Walt Disney's achievements is staggering. Late in his career, when asked about which of his many achievements he was most proud, Walt's answer was simple: the smile on the face of a child. Every time I set foot in one of our parks, I know exactly what he meant. So my wish for everyone here today is that you find a career that constantly inspires you and one that gives you such great satisfaction. Satisfaction that's reinforced by what you do, but rooted in why you do it. I also hope you'll remember that life is about more than work. I've been with my wife, Melanie, now for 24 years. Actually, we've only been married 18. We dated for 6. She insists on getting credit for time served. So either way, we've been together long enough for me to truly realize how much of my success and happiness come from her presence in my life. I get more joy from the life that she and I have created for our sons than anything I could ever do professionally. They're a constant source of pride that keeps everything in perspective. So make sure you invest as much focus and energy building a personal life as you do into putting into your career. As you do, please also know that doing something you love can be almost as important to your family as it is to you. You've worked hard to get to this point. Odds are that you'll continue to work hard in the future. It turns out that it isn't necessarily the end of the world when it comes to maintaining a happy, healthy family for you to occasionally come home at night late from work. However, studies show that coming home at night from a job you hate, that does real damage. And so as you step forward into what I hope will be highly successful careers that you love, you do have some unique challenges ahead, starting with the sheer number of people competing with you. Your degree from the Carlson School proves you've got a track record of significant achievement, but there are a lot of you, and thousands more just likely, sitting at commencement ceremonies right now, also waiting for the speaker to hurry up so the party can start. In addition to this newly minted competition, there are generations in front of you, including mine, the baby boomers. We outnumber you, by the way. And we're also living longer, and we're working longer. In short, we're sitting here in front of you, and many of us are just getting comfortable. The trick is to find out what makes you different, what you have that previous generations don't, and make the most of it. In that regard, you actually have a compelling advantage because your generation came of age in an era of constant disruptive change. Over the past decade, the pace, scale, and breadth of our daily interactions have increased exponentially. The Ericsson Company recently pointed out that it took us 100 years to connect 1 billion places around the world. More recently, it took just 25 years to connect 5 billion people. By 2020, there'll be 50 billion connected devices. The amazing part is that the pace of change will never again be that slow. So you've never lived in a world that wasn't undergoing dramatic change. You're used to it. You're uniquely equipped to expect it, to anticipate it, and to embrace it. Conventional wisdom says change is hard, but I'd wager that from your perspective, change is constant. Where those who grew up before the digital age are apt to see challenges, you're more likely to see opportunities. In the last few years, we've seen the rise of entirely new industries and cultural norms created by people just like you. The most exciting ideas are coming from people of your generation, in part because your imaginations are not limited by what existed before. Mature companies need that same mindset, that same energy, in order to evolve and survive in this rapidly shifting environment. Organizations, especially established ones, typically resist change. Corporate cultures can become so focused on protecting past successes that they fail to innovate for the future. To stay successful, these companies must continue to learn and evolve. If an organization's pace of learning can't keep up with the pace of the market, the organization and its relevance are at risk. So your comfort with change, your willingness to embrace it and drive it, is something you bring to the market. It's an intangible that makes you incredibly valuable as entrepreneurs, for sure, but equally so to employers who must transform themselves in an instant where constant change is the new normal. That generation in the back, I'm not sure about them yet. I believe it's absolutely possible to teach an old dog new tricks. And one of the best ways to do that is to pair it with a young one. So as you saunter up here to accept your diploma, you can be confident that you've got some real value in the market. And believe me, your self-confidence is an asset you should embrace and use to your advantage. But there's another asset that I recommend that you cultivate that I think is just as important as self-confidence. And that asset is humility. It sounds counterintuitive, I suppose, because right now we're all here to celebrate your achievements. The truth is, though, none of you got here alone. You're helped by families and friends who love you, many of whom stood up a few minutes ago. And by the way, I appreciated that the biggest round of applause went to those folks who supported you, so I think you get this already. But being grateful is one of the best forms of humility. It takes nothing from you to acknowledge the people who helped you to reach your goals or become your best self. Life is about give and take. And in that vein, I encourage you to be the type of person that takes responsibility and gives credit. If you are, I guarantee that people will want you on their team. As you go forward, though, the greater your accomplishments, the harder you should hang on to your sense of humility. Having worked in both investment banking and the entertainment business, believe me, I've encountered quite a few people who seem to have adopted a sort of pre-Copernican view of the universe, with themselves cast in the role of Earth. But the simple truth is, Earth is not the center of the universe, and neither are you, or neither am I. There are almost 7 billion people sharing this planet with us, and it's a good idea to keep that in mind. I also want to point out the vital role that luck will often play in success. It's true that luck favors the prepared, and now you're among the prepared, but there are going to be times when the stars and the planets align to open doors and create opportunities that you never really dared to wish for. By all means, make the most of it when it happens, but avoid the temptation to think you are the sole force behind the success that follows. I know I've been incredibly lucky throughout my career, starting with my first job after graduating from the U. As Dean Zahir mentioned, it was here in Minneapolis with Dane Bosworth. I had met the CEO, a great guy named Dick McFarland, while I was still in college, and I was lucky enough for him to offer me a job. And then one day I had the opportunity to ask him what made him so successful in his career. He didn't even hesitate. I'm successful, he said, because I assume I can learn something from every single person I encounter on any given day. Now, I grant you that finding that inspiring nugget of wisdom in some people takes a little more time and effort than with others. But I've always been struck by the fact that Dick's answer had nothing to do with demonstrating his own skill or intelligence, or his importance. And his words have often served to remind me that there's always more to learn. I then got a chance to learn more about true humility from one of my early mentors at Disney. Frank Wells was Disney's president when I first joined the company, and he was really the epitome of everything I'm talking about. He was an habitual overachiever. In college, he was Phi Beta Kappa, a Rhodes Scholar, a water polo player, a runner. He was an ROTC. He later went on to become an attorney, a husband, a father, a mountain climber. He managed to summit the highest mountain on 6 of the 7 continents. He was vice chairman of Warner Brothers, and then he went to Disney with Michael Eisner to run the company in 1984. For the next 10 years, Frank and Michael helped create an extraordinary period of creative and financial success for Disney. To honor Frank's countless contributions, Disney named a building after him at our corporate headquarters in Burbank. And the next time you're at one of our parks, look for his name in the window above Main Street or on the crates of supplies inside the Matterhorn at Disneyland. He was really extraordinary, and he was admired and loved by everyone who knew him. And when you think about it, he achieved phenomenal success in every aspect of his life. Just before Easter in 1994, Frank called me and asked me to come up with a document that we'd been working on. He was rushing out because he was going helicopter skiing that weekend and wanted to take it with him. He died that Sunday when his helicopter crashed. In his pocket, they found a small folded piece of paper from a fortune cookie, a piece of paper that he'd carried around for 30 years. It said, "Humility is the final achievement." So if you're looking for a mantra to take with you as you go out and make your mark in the world, that one is bad. I want to be clear though, humility is not self-doubt. In fact, simultaneously possessing a healthy measure of humility and self-confidence is one of the best recipes I know for sustained success. Having one without the other is likely to make you ineffective, annoying, or both. So I was 37 when I became CFO of the Walt Disney Company. I was well aware that I had a lot to learn, and I was more than a bit daunted by the challenge ahead. So I was feeling that humility thing in a big way. My boss at the time was Michael Eisner, whose knowledge and experience in the entertainment industry was legendary. It was actually his belief in my ability that gave me the tremendous boost of confidence, which was the other half of the equation I needed to do my job. But actually, one of the best people I've ever met at balancing confidence and humility to achieve great things is Disney's current chairman and CEO, Bob Iger. Right before Bob took over as CEO in 2005, he and I were in Asia for the opening of Hong Kong Disneyland. As we were watching the opening day parade, Bob turned to me and pointed out that none of the Disney characters in the parade had been created in the last decade. All the popular new characters in the parade were actually created by Pixar. When we got back to California, he was very clear that fixing Disney animation was critical to the future of the company. The problem he recognized was that we didn't have the right people in place to do it. And if we did, it would take a decade or more. That difficult, clear-eyed assessment led to the acquisition of Pixar for $6.2 billion just a few months after Bob became Disney's CEO. At the time, a lot of people, especially a lot of people inside Disney, saw Disney as the world's preeminent animation company and viewed Pixar as the upstart. But by recognizing and facing up to our own limitations, Bob was able to bring Pixar's founders, John Lasseter and Ed Catmull, in to run both Disney Animation and Pixar Animation. He also brought in Steve Jobs as a board member and our largest shareholder. It seems like an obvious decision now, but at the time it took tremendous confidence and courage for a new CEO to even attempt that acquisition, and a complete lack of hubris on Bob's part to make it successful. And we've worked hard to avoid falling victim to our own success ever since. You see, one of the dangerous things about success is that it can kill your interest in introspection. After all, whatever you're doing is obviously working, so why bother reflecting on it? Although it sounds ironic, it takes self-confidence to admit that you don't have all the right answers. But humility is what keeps us asking questions. It motivates us to learn and makes us receptive to new things. It keeps us trying and makes us willing to look beyond ourselves. And if you can do that on a consistent basis, you're going to be ahead of the game. So in summary, just in case you came in late, my advice to you is pretty simple. What you do in your work is important, but why you do it is even more so. Your work is part of who you are, but only part. Your life in total is what matters. So make your life one you're proud of, one in which the people you love know they are your priority. No one is better equipped to drive change than you are. Use this to your advantage. And finally, humility is just as important as to long-term success as self-confidence. Remember, there's always more you can learn, and there's always room for growth if you're willing to look for it. But I have great faith in this class, in your ability to take us forward with new perspective and a determination to make a difference in the world. The diploma you're about to receive is more than a symbol. If we put it in Disney terms, you might call it a park hopper, an all-access pass to the adventure of your choice, whether that's soaring over California, discovering it's a small world, chasing pirates in the Caribbean, bobsledding, you know where we're going here, right? Down the Matterhorn, or even spinning in a teacup. It sounds like a summation. I'm actually just trying to sell theme park tickets here, okay? Where were we? It's a ticket to ride, and you decide where it takes you from here. I'm extremely grateful for the chance to be here today, and I know wherever you go, you'll have plenty of opportunities to appreciate your experience here at the Carlson School. Just remember that because you've been here, you're ready to go anywhere. Congratulations and good luck to all of you. Thanks very much.
Back to Pumpkin. Thank you, Tom, for those inspiring remarks, really reminding us of the value of humility. I can think of no better exemplar of humility plus self-confidence than Tom, so thank you for those words. The Carlson School is fortunate to enroll many academically talented students. At this time, the Carlson School faculty is proud to recognize the graduates who've earned the designation of Carlson Scholar. Will the graduates wearing maroon and gold cords please stand? This designation is based on a grade point average of 3.85 or higher. These students represent the highest level of academic achievement across the Carlson School of Management. Please join me again in recognizing their accomplishments, and thank you. You may be seated now. It's now my pleasure to welcome Kevin Kruger, candidate for the Master of Business Administration degree from our full-time MBA program. He has been selected as the student speaker on behalf of the graduate class of 2014.
Thank you, Dean. These last few years have been unbelievable. They have been exciting, difficult, wonderful, challenging, and rewarding. Our minds have been filled with knowledge of topics ranging from accounting to strategy. We've had opportunities for leadership in small teams and in clubs and organizations. We've started new initiatives like Carlson Partners, the Outdoor Adventure Club, and the Women's Mentorship Program. And we've strengthened long-standing traditions like the Carlson Tailgate and the Carlson for Community charity auction. Together, we have built a strong, resilient, and welcoming community. But I'm here today to present you with a new challenge. How will you continue to build and strengthen this amazing Carlson community as alumni? But first, it is important to take some time to celebrate what you have accomplished. In just a few short years, you have built a solid foundation from which to lead tomorrow's businesses. You've sacrificed much to get here today. Perhaps the greatest skill we've learned is time management, balancing friendships and relationships, coursework, volunteer activities, jobs, families, networking, socializing, and let's not forget much needed me time, has been an immense challenge. You've traveled the world and experienced business in another culture. You've had time to focus on your strengths and experiment with the type of leader you will someday become. But you did not get here alone. And that is what I want to celebrate with you today. Along the way, we created an amazing community that has truly inspired me. When I was preparing for internship interviews, I was inspired by my classmates who coached me and provided genuine, thoughtful feedback, even though we were interviewing for the same position. I was inspired by the collaboration between faculty, staff, and full-time and part-time MBA students who raised over $20,000 for a local charity at the Carlson charity auction. I was inspired by over 50 alumni who bought me coffee and shared their experiences with me. And I was inspired by all the members in the Carlson Support Network. I'd like to take a moment to thank the people sitting behind you for years of support and understanding. The people in this community are different. The graduates here today come from all corners of the globe. They are competitive and cooperative, innovative and respectful of tradition, intelligent and compassionate, and all around good people. You are truly inspiring. And now I stand in front of you anxious. After you cross this stage, many of you will be packing a moving van, headed for a bright future in another state or country. Some of you will board a plane to return to your home country. Others might even return to work this afternoon, though I hope your boss gave you the day off. We will no longer be gathering in a breakout room or meeting at the Starbucks in Hanson to discuss another team project. Will our community be able to sustain such a tremendous shock? With my experience these last few years as evidence, I can confidently say yes, if you decide to reinvest your dividends. You are amazing people that will do amazing things, but I believe we will go further together. When I was on the fence about going back to school, I sat down with a friend who is a Carlson alum. After talking through my goals and reservations, she stopped me and said, "You can do this. Getting an MBA has been the best decision. You're going to love it." These words of encouragement were what I needed to commit to Carlson. You, too, have this inspirational power. By staying connected, not only with each other, but with Carlson, you will continue to inspire me as well as future students. While I'm sad we won't see each other with the same frequency, I'm excited to see all of the amazing things you will accomplish. And remember that while you're busy shaping the future of business throughout the world, you have an opportunity to inspire the next generation of Carlson MBAs and continue to build and strengthen our amazing community. Congratulations, and thank you.
At this time, I'd like to begin the business of the day, the presentation of degrees. Our graduates likely will recognize those who are about to read their names, but I would like to take a moment to introduce them to the entire audience. Reading names today are Robin Bliley, Director, Carlson Executive MBA Program; Patrick McCarthy, Director of Student Affairs, Full-Time and Part-Time MBA Program; Li Lin Chi, Carlson School International student, reading the names for the China Global Executive MBA Program; and Manfred Buckner, Program Manager, Vienna Global Executive MBA Program. At this point, I invite Regent Broad and Professor Sean Curley, Program Director for the Doctoral Program in Business Administration, to join me on stage for the presentation of our candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree in Business Administration. Will all of the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy please rise and come forward as directed by the marshals.
Regent Broad, Dean Zahir, on behalf of the faculty, the Carlson School presents the 2014 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Business Administration. Young-Jun Choi, Faculty Advisor Connie Wanberg, Department of Work Organizations. Shin Dai, Faculty Advisor, Pervin Shroff, Department of Accounting. Ki Young Lee, Faculty Advisor, Michelle Duffy, Department of Work Organizations. Shweta Singh, Faculty Advisors, Alok Gupta, Gautam Ray, and Ravi Bapna, Department of Information Decision Sciences. Ying Hao Zhang. Faculty Advisor, Karen Donahue, Department of Supply Chain Operations.
Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration from the full-time program please rise as directed by the marshals? And will the first row of candidates please come forward? At this time, the Carlson School invites Professor Arthur Hill, Associate Dean for MBA Programs, to the certificate table for the presentation of degrees. Regent Broad, Dean Zahir, on behalf of the faculty, the Carlson School presents the 2014 candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration from the full-time program. Atzaz Hassan. Lu Bai. Bertha Bell. Ross Berman. Benjamin Beanert. Jeffrey Branchin. Steve Burns. Accepting for Steve Burns, First Lieutenant David Wojciech, U.S. Army. Our thoughts and prayers go to Steve and the Burns family. Anthony Cannon. Danush Chalasani. Jeff Cheeseman. Brian Chen. Peter Chen. Kin Moon Chu. Wayna Chu. Nathan Connor. Blake Corson. Brandon Cox. Colleen Cross. Matt Crowley. David DeCock. Keelan Deal. Ruth Fan. Caitlin Foley. Morgan Holly Ford. Andrew Foster. George Fraley. Yang Gao. Hao Gong. Serena Gong. Margaret Graff. Eric Green. Anders Gregerson. Elisa Greer. Jennifer Hong. Christina Ironside. Peter Jaworski. Stuart Jerky. Kaiten Jogalaker. Aaron Keller. Rohini Khanna. Nak Gan Go. Kevin Kruger. Munish Kuvadia. Jeffrey Leung. Matthew Lewis. Ernest William Leetson, the fourth. David Lindsay. Sioan Liu. Zilu. Steve London. Aviva Mao. Christopher Matthew. Alex McAnoff. Paul McCoy. Rajesh Michaelaraj. Matthew Midthun. Dean Mixer. Joseph Manjur. Jennifer Myers. Vinath Kumar Nagaraju. Sean Nelson. Janessa Nickel. Dave Obrey. Jeff Oakes. Kent Christopher Ortner. Sean Patnode. Sarah Bennett Powell. Daniel Chi. Minzy Chu. Sarah Riley. Steve Roberts. Dan Robinson. Mike Robinson. Nissa Shosted. Eric Smith. Joey Sung. Guang Lian Shun. Marissa Zodi. Parikshit Tari. Peter Tieglin. Jacob Wayne Titus. Wesley Trice, President. Sai Ping Wang. Michael Weber. Courtney West. Jacqueline Williams. Jin Xu. Jiangjun Xu. Sun Yang. Hao Yu. Zoe Zhang. Amanda Zhang. Jun Kim. Hongyang Zhang. Zhao Xu. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration from the part-time program please rise as directed by the marshals? And will the first row of candidates please come forward? Regent Broad, Dean Zahir. On behalf of the faculty, the Carlson School presents the 2014 candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration from the part-time program. Matthew Adelman. Tara Alba. Zach Alt. Brandy Angrick. Neil Arcand. Michelle Asp. Molly Augustine. Jihan Baquero. Aaron Barwas. Blake Bellin. Scott Bentrup. Catherine Ann Bergman. Sarah Bonino. Joseph Bostrom. Lisa Brown. Alex Breedamus. Jane Breedamus. Caitlin Breen. Jeremy Browning. Christina Kakakski. Srinivasa Sakiran Chakavalutha. Brittany Chulupnik. Dipanjan Chatterjee. Santosh Chik Alamau. Kevin Chen. Matthew Chimento. Cameron Clark. Cherish Clough. Thomas Cole. Sean Corcoran. Matthew Crossan. Pritesh Dasgupta. Nikhil D'Souza. Kathleen Dewar. Carl Doughton. Holly Edgett. Sabrina Lee Esser. Molly Faber. Molly Fedor. Michelle Marie Ferber. Sarah Ferguson. David Faring. Anne Forkrud. Daniel Franis. Whitney Frickman. Jackie Gari. Alicia Galloway. Kanchen Garg. Satish Gadamani. Jared Gailey. Larissa Gonring. Srini Govindan. Bobby Gregoire. Jennifer Gregg. Grant Griebenow. Matthew Hansen. Rylan Harris. Brian Hartenberg. Adam Hauji. Michael Hedges. Amy Hillman. Michael Hooper. Scott Hooley. Eric Jewett. Sean Johnson. Jared Jones. Celty Camrud. Matthew Kelly. Josh Kellner. Samir Kosa. Mark Kirschner. Dana Klein. Darren Cluck. Alexander Kranz. Amanda Kroll. John Krull. Andrew Laylim. Michael Thomas Lane. Laura Lewis. Ashutosh Latlikar. Matthew Lust. Rashi Maheshwari. Matthew Manning. Maggie Mantuffel. Chelsea Marie Marcotte. Martin W. Masters. Patrick McCardle. Jenna McGrath. Megan McKechnie. Priya Moni. Matthew Lee Moose. Kathleen Marie Morlock. Jonathan Morris. Mark Muckerhide. Marcus Joseph Mullen. Connor Murphy. Patricia Mwangi. Marina Naboko. Michael Neiman. Jared Ross Nelson. Patrick Nelson. Jared Newell. Grace Nagano. Miley Wynn. Jacob Nicklay. Jennifer Nicklay. Laura Nordlaken. Blake Anthony Norman. Catherine Olmshank. Angela Olson. George Omai. Nadia Opatz. Anthony Pastrick. Divya Pathak. Ryan Patrick. Teresa Ann Penn. John Tonkin Perry III. Samuel Pearson. Carlos Francisco Pinello. Brandy Polson. Chris Prokopanko. John Rent. Shauna Sable. BJ Sahu. Aaron Sankey. Gaurav Satam. Dreth Schroeder. Damon Schuler. Santosh Sitharaman. Chelsea Seeger. Christopher Seeley. Tracy Shirk. Sarah Siefker. Jennifer Scar. Ben Skemp. Sophie Lane Snyder. Megan Sones. Ronald Kyle Sorensen. Christopher Sothner. Joel Stamp. Benjamin Stevens. Nate Stober. Eric W. Stormer. John Suarez. Marissa Sundquist. Jason Seidem. Theodore Tagan. Tenzin Toxa. Emily Truslow. Reed Tingy. Amanda Vall. William Van Cleef. Alberto Vasquez Pareda. John Von Hoff. Lindsay Wall. Jessica Waletsky. Nina Wayne. Peter Wessler. David Welliver. Kara Westhouse. Ann Weston. Michelle Christine Wick. Brett Wickens. Courtney Wheeland. Casey Wilm. Justin Winkles. Seshagari Rao Perry. Adrian Watson. Katrina Wingrodsky. Nicole Zoller. Peter Javier Zambrano. Kelly Francis Ziegler. Colin Zimmerman.
Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration from the Executive Program please rise as directed, and will the front row please come forward? Regent Broad, Dean Zahir, on behalf of the faculty, the Carlson School presents the 2014 candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration from the Executive Program. Yibyan Alamu. David Amelat. Christian Bailey. Matthew Bellamy. Kevin Black. Aaron Boyd. Michael Burbach. Eugene Bird. Crystal Byrne. Chad Carney. Darcy Catlett. Emily Coburn. Elena Sophia Condas. Aaron Cottrell. Adam Dill. Clint Erickson. Stephen Fluin. Michael Fresky. Kazum Gosing. Jeremy Graves. Gray Greenwald. Nina Brooks Haig. Joel Hanisch. Tanner Johnson. Timothy Johnson. Adam Katz. Connor Kinsella. Matthew Richard Kyle. Marcy Marks. Ron Martin. Corey Michelson. Jacob Mirabal. Andrea Moffett. Kevin Newman. Kelsey Oy. G. William Parsons. Lorraine Chantel Paulson. Sunil Puri. Andrew Quist. Michelle Reinert. Paul Rombach. Jeffrey Stephen Skipper. Charles Sperling. Nijay Smith. Brian Strasser. David Strosak. Balaji Subramanian. Thomas Sullivan. Matthew Van Vliet. Brian Vincent. Molly Ward. Hugh Watson. David Weinhold. Matthew Williams. Galen Wood. Arvin Menaher Jalki. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration from the Global Executive Program in China please rise as directed by the marshals, and will the first row of candidates please come forward? At this time, the Carlson School invites Michael Houston, Associate Dean of Carlson Global Initiatives, to the certificate table for the presentation of the Master of Business Administration degrees for the China and Vienna executive programs. Joining him at the certificate table for the presentation of degrees is Professor Lin Jiang from the China Executive MBA program. Joining me at the readers table to present the candidates is Carlson School international student Li Lin Chi. Regent Broad, Dean Zahir, on behalf of the faculty of the Carlson School presents the 2014 candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration from the Global Executive Program in China.
池海峰，傅健，胡江国，黄征彦，邝百富，李春燕，李红。 李健、李鹏、刘朝华、刘迪、鲁强、卢岩。 彭礼健、邱慧群、薛文珍、孙雨果、唐向上、涂然。 谢建民、尹丽萍、曾洁、 张玉静、庄桂林、邹文娟、
Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration from the Global Executive Program in Vienna please rise as directed by the marshals, and will the first row of candidates please come forward? At this time, the Carlson School invites Professor Bodo Schlegelmilch, Dean of the VU Academy, to the certificate table for presentation of degrees. Joining me at the reader's table is Manfred Buchner, Program Manager, Vienna Executive MBA Program. Regent Broad, Dean Zahir, on behalf of the faculty, the Carlson School presents the 2014 candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration from the Global Executive Program in Vienna.
Markus Eschbacher. Mohammad Nassim Akhtar. Nadia Angelova. Douglas K. Carl II. Alexander Philipp. Harald Auer. Johannes Justin. Andreas Klug. Lubor Kohut. Camille Coril. Ekaterina Kovaleva. Stefan Kucher. Alexander Kumpis. Nelly Logar. Yuri Lov. Mirko Maksimovic. Emiliano Malucchi. Maria Merjansen. Alexei Ovinikov. Suresh Balu Patel. Nicolas Peunier. Cosmin Popper. Manuela Reich. Barbara Ribic. Alexei Romanov. Vivek Sachdeva. Yevgen Savenko. Waldemar Scheiermann. Marcel Sedlak. Jürgen Tauber. Rainer Toy. Tamash Tokej. Darko Urokarovic. Shashank Mohan Wesley. Thomas Zwerger.
Will the candidates for the Master of Arts in Human Resources and Industrial Relations degree please rise as directed by the marshals, and will the first row of candidates please come forward? At this time, the Carlson School invites Professor Avner Benner, Director of Graduate Studies, and Stacy Deppner-Hovey, Director of the Masters in HRIR program, to the certificate table for the presentation of degrees. Regent Broad, Dean Zahir, on behalf of the faculty, the Carlson School presents the 2014 candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in Human Resources and Industrial Relations. Rachel Alden Anderson. Lisa Baer. Taylor Behrman. Indu Bhargava. Daniel Blackburn. Dani Blakowiak, Amanda Bruckner, Josephine Brooks, Rusty Bruner, Chad Casey, Wei Chen, Noel Ok-Young Chung, Brian Crunk, Kathy D'Onofrio, Angela Dunn, Nicholas Fry, Kelsey Gaida, Megan Gondorshan, Angela Grell, Neil Grothy, Lauren Morningstar Hill Clem, Pli Auer, Anna Huang, Amanda Jacobson, Jesse Jones, Ji Ho Kim, Jackie Corpula, Morgan Landon, Christy Losted, Rooney Lee, Russell Ammon Lee, Shinzu Liu, Wen Xin Liu, Kelly Meschler, Amanda Miller, Caleb Moore, Rachel Mudd, Elizabeth Pagal, Jiwoon Bei, Pongsuda Pokpemdi, Allison Rydell, Jessica Roberts, Zechariah Roberts, Simja Saji Ani, Allison Shermers, Anna Scarvan, Wusuk Song, Igor Stancherich, Lydia Sonsrud, Yalan Tan, Menglian Tian, James Updike, Jessica Vang, Chelsea Christie Ward, Julia White, Yanan Zhang, Yiding Zheng, Diksha Garg, Jianming Zhang, Meng Guo.
Will the candidates for the Master of Business Taxation degree please rise as directed by the marshals, and will the first row of candidates please come forward? At this time, the Carlson School invites Paul Gutterman, Director of the Master of Business Taxation program, to the certificate table for the presentation of degrees. Regent Broad, Dean Zahir, on behalf of the faculty, the Carlson School presents the 2014 candidates for the degree of Master of Business Taxation. Hao Wen Chen, Amy Gruber, Talha Khan, Monica M. Klanderud, Yan Luo, Huda Malik, Lauren Marie Shelton, Yi Wan. Yachi Wang. Wang Yuzhao.
Will the candidates for the Master of Accountancy degree please rise as directed by the marshals? And will the first row of candidates please come forward? At this time, the Carlson School invites Larry Callio, Director of the Master of Accountancy program, to the certificate table for the presentation of degrees. Regent Broad, Dean Zahir, on behalf of the faculty, the Carlson School presents the 2014 candidates for the degree of Master of Accountancy. Holly Ashe, Jenna Battle, Julie Baumgartner, Zachary Andrew Byrice, Eric William Dietel, Aaron Gigler, Alina Haggis, Zach Hankin, Caroline L. Hemner, Adam Allen John, Shi Jia, Mary Catherine Johnson, Corey Johnsrud, Louis Lochner, Hillary Lehman, Lei Liu, Yao Lu, Shekala Lanjalo, Joshua Samuel Minkoff, Rashni Morla Leith Tharun, Bob Nichols, Eric Ordahl, Misha Pung, Matthew James Phillips, Carson Reed, Luke Ritter, Meng Ren, Sarah Marie Shapiro, Jacqueline Elizabeth Shepard, Nithorson Sivalaganathan, Nicole Shlapika, Lei Sun, Jordan Thurston, Chen Shi She,
Congratulations to all of you today as you become alumni of the Carlson School of Management at the University of Minnesota. And here to welcome you into the Carlson School's alumni faculty is Laura Moret, President of the Carlson School Alumni Board. Laura is Managing Director, Chief Counsel Asset Management at Piper Jaffray Companies, a Minneapolis financial services firm. Laura received her BA from the University of Minnesota College of Liberal Arts and an MBA from the Carlson School. She also has a law degree from Northwestern University and studied at Harvard Law School. Laura currently serves as president of the Carlson School Alumni Board. Ladies and gentlemen, graduating class of 2014, please join me in welcoming Laura Moret.
Greetings and congratulations to all of you who are now alumni of the university. I have 3 things I'd like to talk about with you today: pride, confidence, and connections. My first message to graduates is to be proud of your education and degree from the University of Minnesota and the Carlson School. The University of Minnesota is a world-leading university, and the Carlson School is a top business school with outstanding faculty, students, and alumni. Wherever your career leads you, you should know that the education you receive from the Carlson School is among the best. I speak from the experience of having attended 2 other major universities. As Dean Zahir mentioned, I went to Northwestern and Harvard, and I can assure you that the University of Minnesota and Carlson School are world class. My second message today to graduates is to be confident. Confident in your education and your career preparation. I grew up in a small town in Minnesota. My small town background is similar to many other successful graduates of the University of Minnesota and Carlson School, including John Stumpf, CEO of Wells Fargo. The University of Minnesota and the Carlson School gave me the confidence to compete and contribute to major corporations, including American Express Company and Piper Jaffray Companies. My third message to graduates today is to stay connected. Stay connected with the Carlson School and Carlson School alumni. Connections can be maintained in many ways. Consider joining GOLD, Gophers of the Last Decade. Attend First Tuesday luncheons, which feature prominent business speakers, including recent leaders Inga Tulin, CEO of 3M, and Ken Powell, CEO of General Mills. Join Carlson School clubs if you're joining corporations such as Target, 3M, and Best Buy, and many other corporations in the area. If you're relocating to another city, look for regional clubs and Carlson School events in your city. We have events in New York, San Francisco, Chicago, and many other cities. You will enjoy the social networking and benefit from career opportunities by continuing to connect with Carlson School and its alumni. In conclusion, I want to congratulate you again on your outstanding achievements. I encourage you to be proud of the Carlson School, but humble, as our speaker spoke earlier. Stay confident in your preparation and connected with the University of Minnesota and Carlson. Celebrate your graduation day, and best wishes to all of you in the future. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to invite Regent Laura Broad to the podium for the conferral of degrees. Will all degree candidates please rise? Regent Broad, on behalf of the faculty of the Carlson School of Management, I present to you the Carlson School of Management graduate class of 2014.
It is an absolute privilege to be with you today, celebrating each and every one of you. You've spent a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and yes, a lot of money to get to this door called graduation. But it's not just the door of graduation, it's many doors that you will encounter upon the adventure called your careers. And I am confident that you will represent the university, you will represent our state, you will represent the business community and the world in ways that we can only imagine or have yet to be imagined. So thank you for what you've done, and thank you for what you will do in the future. And with that, I get the fun part of this ceremony. Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority granted by the Board of Regents of the University of Minnesota, I now confer upon each and every one of you the degree for which you have qualified. Please join me in congratulating our graduates.
Now, will everyone who is able to please rise and join Karina Carlson as she leads us in singing Hail Minnesota. The words are on page 23 in your program. Afterward, please be seated until the graduates and the faculty have completely recessed out of the auditorium. I thank all of you for coming today and invite you also to a celebratory reception immediately following the ceremony in the DQ Club of the TCF Bank Stadium located directly across the street. So again, on behalf of the faculty and staff of the Carlson School, I extend our warmest congratulations to all of you.